Hi everyone, my name is Zhai Xiaojie and I'm from EICC. So today's my topic is about women's rights are improving worldwide. This study shows that the greater the level of economic freedom, the more likely it is that men and women will receive equal legal treatment. To most benefit women, the promotion of equal rights between the sexes should go hand in hand with the promotion of high levels of overall freedom. I totally agree with this view. So, as Marx said, that the liberation of women lies in the economic dependence of the elite. So here I got 4 references here. Firstly, in 2015, an article by Sima, a professor of economics at Northwestern University, used cross-country data to show the correlation between per capita GDP and different dimensions of gender equality. Although these statistical correlations are not equal to causal effects, they can still help us understand the role of economic development to a certain extent. The first chart shows the relationship between GDP per hand and the ratio of male or female college enrollment in each country, such as China and India in red circle, the American and European in orange and yellow circle, the Middle East and North Africa in gray circle, and Sub-Saharan Africa in blue. In general, the ratio of high-income countries is similar than that of low-income countries. In particular, after the per capita GDP is higher than $10,000. The downward trend of this ratio slows down and is generally less and less. In other words, as per capita GDP increases, the probability of women going to college will gradually catch up with men and even surpass men after a certain stage of economic development. In general, the ratio of high-income countries is similar than that of low-income countries. In particular, after the per capita GDP is higher than $10,000. The downward trend of the ratio slows down and is generally less than 1. In other words, as the per capita GDP increases, the probability of women going to college will gradually catch up with men and even surpass men after a certain stage of economic development. Secondly, we found that the World Economic Forum's report also mentioned it. Years of research has shown that gender equality and other conditions are conducive to social development and economic growth, while inequality will lead to lower than expected growth. Gender equality will win great social industriousness. It will promote advancement of human rights, promote employment, realize sustainable environmental development, and form a new development model. From the perspective of optimizing social division of labor, referring to women's participation in economic life, it can indeed achieve better resources allocation. The economic and society are moving forward. Physical work is becoming less and less, and mental work is gradually increasing. In some positions, women have more advantage than men, and they can complement each other's advantage. Gender equality optimized the social division of labor, thereby promoting economic development. The realization of equality between men and women may not only be a manifestation of social progress. The above-mentioned report of the World Economic Forum also believe that the equality between men and women is also beneficial to economic development. Many studies have shown that improving gender equality can bring huge economic dividends. According to the report, China's figures are even more impressive. According to other data, if China can increase women's economic participation by 25% in 2025, its GDP can grow by 2.5 trillion US dollars and the global GDP can grow by 5.3 trillion US dollars during the same period, given the proportion of government revenue in GDP. GDP growth will also increase global tax revenue by 1.4 trillion US dollars, most of which 914 billion US dollars will come from emerging economics, which means that the government can have more self-raised public funds for shrinking the gender gap. The WEF report argues that the economic implication of achieving gender equality also exists at the industry and formal levels, and that our key way to promote gender equality is to promote gender balance across industries. According to LinkedIn's data, men are scarce in areas such as education, health, and welfare, while women are underrepresented in engineering, manufacturing, construction, and communications. This gender divide is a loss for all industries. Without gender diversity, there is no possibility and reward for more innovation and creativity. Secondly, according to the report by the World Bank, gender equality is not only a basic human right, but also has economic significance. The World Development Report in 2012 said that gender equality and development knows that countries that create more opportunities for women and girls also have better productivity and economic development. Stopping women and girls from acquiring the skills and incomes to succeed in a globalized world is not only wrong, it is also economically harmful, said Lin Yifu, the World Bank's chief economist. He noted that equal sharing of the achievement of economic growth and globalization between men and women was essential to achieving key development goals. Last but not least, here is a report by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization that agriculture output in poor countries could be increased by 4% if female farmers were given equal access to resources. Removing barriers to women working in some industries could reduce the productivity gap between men and women by between a third and a half, and both output per person by between 3 and 25% in some countries, the report added. World Bank President Rabba said we need to achieve gender equality, and over past 5 years, the World Bank has provided financial support for girls' education, women's health, and women's access to credit, land, agricultural service, jobs, and infrastructure service. This work is important, but it's not enough. Going forward, the World Bank Group will make gender equality a major priority and will look for other ways to advance this agenda and realize the full potential about half of the world's population. Significant progress has been made in promoting gender equality in recent years. with women accounting for 40% of the world's workforce and 43% of the agricultural workforce, and more than half of university studies, the report said it. Although there is still a long way to go to improve the status of women in the world, the first step has been taken firmly. At present, 15% of women of the right age in the world are engaged in the workplace. This is a force that cannot be underestimated, but we cannot take it lightly. We can either imagine that with economic development, the issue of gender equality will be completely resolved. But we must also have confidence in the continuous development of status of women in the economic. Women in the industrial age can be programmers, scientists, astronauts, electrical engineers, editors, teachers, drivers, construction workers, and exactly, but they cannot be imprisoned in the family to do housework and children birth, take care of children as a housewife in the center of their lives. That's all. Bye bye.